How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Super.
Good.
Superty duper. Okay,
Yes.
we'll get started. Hello and welcome to Lulu's Way Healthy Food, Healthy Life. My name is Nicole and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be your host this evening. To keep this meeting free from distraction, we ask that all in attendance please mute yourselves unless you are speaking. We also ask that you keep the video mode turned off if you are doing anything other than sitting and participating in this meeting so that we can minimize distraction. In this community, we gather to support, encourage, and inspire on the benefits of nutrition, weight loss, wellness, and the joy that comes from choosing to serve yourself well. We are not medically trained, nor do we have formal training in nutrition. We come together here for the sole purpose of providing support, sharing experiences, and promoting a healthy lifestyle. It may be wise to check with your healthcare professional with any dietary suggestions or advice you receive from this group discussion, particularly if you have health challenges. Individuals in this group may have different ideas on how to eat healthy. Just figure out what works best for you and do it your way. Our meeting format involves rotating through a series of important topics focusing on the needs and interests of our members. These topics include food preparation, motivation, meal ideas, traveling, socializing, challenges, non-scale victories, maintenance, and general Q&A. We will fully explore one topic before moving on to the next, continuing this rotation until the meeting concludes. The following week we'll resume with the topic where we left off. So tonight's topic, we nicely wrapped up motivation last week, which was awesome. And so we're going to start tonight with meal ideas.
Meal ideas. Oh goodness, go watch my videos. Putting together meals all the time. Meal ideas. I look forward to hearing from everybody else on meal ideas. You know, somebody wrote to me recently and said, "I love Mexican food. Do you ever eat Mexican food?" And I thought, you can really make any food Mexican food. Just add Mexican spices and flavors to it, and then you've got Mexican food. Like, if you're talking about traditional Mexican food, the answer is no. I mean, it's all fat and flour and tortillas and all that stuff, So you can really, like Liz, who comes here, I don't know if she's here. She talks about having like Mexican one night and Asian another night, and she just goes through all different cuisine, and basically she's working with the food that we're working with, and it's just about spices, herbs and spices, so go out there and look at all the different spice blends. Just read your labels, because there's many of them have like seeds in them, like sesame seeds, and that's fat. Some of them have oils in them, like you wouldn't even think, but it will say safflower oil, like there's oil in seasonings. So I would say just really check your labels on seasonings so that you're sure that you're just getting the full herbs and spices, only. What I do is I typically pick my favorite veggies, which are broccoli, green beans, carrots, cabbage, delicata squash, asparagus, rutabaga, Brussels sprouts. Now I know there's about 20 or 30 more to pick from. You look all over the grocery store, but those are my go-tos, and I don't buy all of those every week. I buy a few, and I just vary it up. But those are kind of like my go-tos, and I just cook them in batches, one after another in the Instant Pot, and then for my grains, I typically pick quinoa, or I have that mixed rice grain that I've made a video on, with the rice being the main part of it. I almost never buy like the little white potatoes, but I did today. I bought a little bag today of the little gold ones. I like the golden ones because they taste like they got butter on them. Like right out of the bag, they taste like they got butter on them. Like you don't have to put butter on them. Right now I'm not doing rice cakes, but rice cakes is another one. But right now I'm kind of off of those, just temporarily. And um, sweet potatoes, right? And you know, there's all kinds of grains. There's a whole pile of grains to pick from if you want to get adventurous. And but you know, like I just kind of stick to these ones. Usually have like the quinoa in the morning or the rice in the morning, and I have the sweet potatoes at lunch or dinner. And I just varied it up this week with regular potatoes, the little gold potatoes. And then for protein, I usually get like a package of, like within a week, I usually have a package of chicken thighs, a package of chicken breast, a steak, a fillet of fish, you know, and then just always just kind of mixing it up, the way that I prepare it with different spices. And sometimes I'll just put garlic powder on chicken. Sometimes I've got to lather it in smoked paprika. Sometimes I use those combo spices that I buy. And, you know, I just have all these things cooked. And then when it's time to put a meal together, I just open the top of my cooler and get out my dish and just, I have all this stuff picked. As soon as I see something getting low, I know it's time to cook more, you know? Like yesterday, I used the end of the rice for my eggs in the morning, and I was like, oh, gotta cook some quinoa today. So there I was, and I put it in the oven. See, I use my oven while I'm home. That's the one thing I miss on the road, is my little toaster oven. I wish I could bake on the road, because I love my sweet potatoes baked, and I like my chicken baked. But you know, it's fine in the pan and it's fine in the Instant Pot. It works for me. But I just like the dry cooking better than the wet cooking. And anyway, and as you know, I'm a meal assembler. I just assemble, and I have all my containers with all my things cooked. And I'm just always taking inventory of what's getting low, what needs to be cooked, what needs to be cooked next that is going to spoil. You know, I'm going to cook the fish before I'm going to cook the chicken that has a date that's 4 days away. I'm going to cook the fish. And it's just, for me, meal preparation is just really that easy. It's just that simple. Just always be on it. Make sure you have what you need for the next day. And I just find those pockets of time where I can just prepare something, and it takes almost no time at all. I just put the quinoa in the dish with the water, and I baked it just the same way I baked the rice. I think you've seen my video on the way I just baked rice. I just threw it right in there, and then I'm just off doing other things, you know, and just set my timer, and I'm like, oh, okay, let me go check that, you know, let it cool, leave it while it's cooling, come back, put it in my cooler. When I'm on the road, the same thing. I take the inventory, and either it might be after dinner, I'll be like, oh, before I wrap it up for the day, I think I'll throw some sweet potatoes in the Instant Pot. And then it will be like, oh, well, while the Instant Pot's out and it's dirty, let me see what else I got that I could throw in there. Then I do that. And then just get things prepared, get things up. But I'm not gonna. I want to make sure I have enough time for things to cool, because I'm not gonna put hot food in my cooler and start melting my ice. So that's the way I do it. Now, there's a lot of people that ask about recipes and stuff, and people will say like, you should write a cookbook. And I was just like, but I don't have like one recipe. I just don't have one recipe. You know, I just don't have recipes. My recipe would be like, you know, 2 pounds of broccoli, put it in the Instant Pot, hit the button, 0, the end, you know. I don't know if that would be helpful to have like it all in one place, like how I prepare each thing. I think that there's I think in the files section on our group there's a Instant Pot guideline thing, but I didn't post it there. So I didn't even looked at it. I just heard it was there. I don't know who posted it, but I don't even know if I would agree with it about the timing on this stuff. So I should probably look at that because I have it down to a science that everything comes out like just perfect, the way that I think it's perfect. You know, you might want things a little bit more cooked or less cooked, or it's all a matter of taste. But I always say just don't overcook the chicken. I think people overcook the chicken. They're just so afraid of it being undercooked. It cooks quicker than you think, and if you cut it open and it's not pink, like it doesn't have to be dried out. It's just so much more delicious when it's just past pink, because you don't want it pink and juicy. You want it juicy and not dried out and not pink. And I think that it's just more enjoyable like that. And even the fish, just until it's flaky, But I love all my veggies, and I usually do cooked veggies at lunch and salad at dinner. Every night I have a salad. I know it almost seems like it should be the other way around, but I think the salad is my favorite, so I save it for the end. I save the best for last. And I could have 2 salads a day if I wanted to. I think I just want more variety. So the way that all the veggies that I would only eat cooked. But now today I had a salad and I had a little bit of cooked broccoli left over. Cooked broccoli in a cold cooked broccoli in a salad is delicious. So lately for breakfast I've really been having like eggs every day. Do I have anything but eggs? Let me think. Yeah, because I'm off the nuts for now. But that's just temporary too. But I've been just enjoying just having the eggs in the morning with fruit, and I always have the grains cooked in the eggs, and it's just delicious. And nice juicy piece of fruit, and I'm always full, and I'm always ready for the next meal. It's just a great way, in my opinion. It's a great way to manage nutrition, to be sure that I'm eating balanced. I just know I'm eating balanced because if you look at the food plan, it's a very balanced food plan. And if I'm following that, I'm having the right ratio of things, because left to my own devices, I wouldn't pick this many veggies and this much carb. It would be the other way around. And that's why I stayed overweight a lot of my life. So anyway, I hope, any of that helps. I mean, I know it's really nothing new that I've said, like that you probably don't already know about me, but it just works for me. It just really, really works for me, Now today, I had a busy day today, so this morning, right after breakfast, I put my lunch together, put my dinner together. And so tomorrow I'm hitting the road, so I got my cooler filled with food. I went to Whole Foods today. I just knew, I was just like, I don't want to be slicing and dicing in the middle of this day. I wanted to go more smooth. So I did all my slicing and dicing in the morning, but just planning for success. It's all good. And my meals were delicious. They're delicious every single day. I have exactly what I want, and I don't feel deprived at all. It just really, really works for me. And geez, if it can work for me, it can work for you. If it's something you're interested in, if you're not doing it and you want to think about it, just really think about that. Just that food management. Like, I don't have to manage the crazy thoughts. I just have to manage the products, the food, and I have to manage putting them together and having things ready for me. And but I'm not managing those decisions anymore about, just always, like we talked about last week with the motivation, like, who wants to be thinking about that? Like, oh, I shouldn't. Oh, but maybe I could. Oh, just this once. So, oh, blah, blah, blah. All those stories, just no more of that. So once I've cleared all that out of my life, I've got all the time in the world to throw on batches of different veggies and foods and get the pressure cooker going and take the pan out and just start going to town in my van. I love it. It's fun, So Anyway, that's what I got for this topic. Nicole, what about you?
Yeah, well, that was great. I wanted to just point out that on our Facebook page, under one of the tabs called albums, there are a lot of pictures there of on-plan meal combinations for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So if you haven't looked there, um, look there because it can just really just help you pick some new ideas. Um, but I am the same. I've been doing this now for like 19 and a half months, and meal ideas are not recipes for me. They are just the combination of the foods. I appreciate a couple of the things that some more creative types like Pam have come up with, like Pam's patties, because I absolutely love that. That's like as recipe-y as I get. But I always have, lentils and quinoa, and I'm like, yay, I'm making another batch of Pam's patties. Um, so the other kind of recipe that the only other one I've really done is the ginger carrot soup you made once, Lulu. So I like those two. But otherwise, my meal ideas are really just following the food plan, picking different things. In the beginning, I felt like I had to pick all different kinds of things all the time. And it was kind of, a lot for the first month. And then I really just realized I can pick the things I like a lot and I can have them again and again. And I don't mind that. And so, in the beginning too, like rice cakes and the peanut butter was delish. And I just thought, oh, I wish to have that a lot. But then I realized when I eat oatmeal and a fruit, that I feel much more full. And I like that feeling. So now I prefer the oatmeal and fruit and to like over easy eggs rather than the rice cakes and the peanut butter. So I usually only have that maybe once a week, because it's just what I prefer. And I'm surprised that I prefer that, but I do. And so I find myself, and my sisters can probably attest to this, that I eat a lot of the same things over and over again with slight variations because I send pictures of that to them. We go back and forth with those. But I enjoy it, and I enjoy rice cakes with hard-boiled eggs. So whatever the food combinations are really what I stick to. And I'm the opposite of you, Lulu. I do raw for lunch and usually cooked veggies for dinner. I like my veggies for lunch to be heavier ones. And so I've really been enjoying cucumbers, tomatoes, now organic sauerkraut, which is like one of my favorite things. So making a salad out of that, and tomato for lunch. And then dinner is always steamed or roasted veggies of, some sort. So I definitely think advice is good to, in the beginning, you might be thinking, like I saw someone posted in the notes, the chat here, that the options seem kind of limited or low. But I don't really find that. Like even the only meat I eat is fish. I still don't find it low. Like there's so many things in these categories, like especially the veggie category. But just mixing up the combinations if you're someone who gets bored, I think can be important, and the seasonings. Like I am in love right now with chili oil, spicy chili oil. And it comes in an 8-ounce bottle, and I'm like making sure I have enough for like 3 months. I'm like 8 ounces, 0.5 twice a day, times 7, times 4 weeks. I don't want to run out of my chili oil because I'm loving everything because of that. And like my husband even mentions, do you love the vegetables or just the oil that you're putting on? And I'm like, well, it doesn't really matter because right now I'm just like, I'm just really into it. So finding little things like that you really like. I also eat seitan. And so like that chili oil just you can flavor that, whichever way you want based on your seasonings and oil. So I like that a lot. I also use those seasonings on beans and, garbanzo beans. So yeah, I find like meal ideas, if you just don't know what to put together, I would just think about some of the flavors that you love. Like I love onion and tuna, so that to me is really delicious. And, I don't need or miss the mayonnaise because, some of these things that we might have used to have for lunch, just using the components that are on plan to get those flavors can really help. Like I did also see someone was looking for a way in the Facebook page to make a legal potato salad and trying to figure out mayonnaise. And, I think you could get pretty close with being on plan, but like for me, and I admire people who really do weigh everything out, figure everything out so that they can make this thing. But for me, I don't really want to take the time to do that or focus so much on that because that I just don't think it would be really like a good use of my time when I'm enjoying all the foods the way they are. And then someone did also ask in the chat if rice flour is okay, and I just wanted to mention that there are no flours on Lulu's plan. Grinding things down into a flour. There's been some discussion too about oatmeal flour if you're just taking oatmeal, but we don't really grind things down to a flour. We try to eat them as whole as possible. So I just wanted to mention that. So in this meeting, I hope to hear from a lot of you that maybe have questions like that. This is, you can put them in the chat, but just raise your hand too, and we can talk about it. But I think the other thing I'll just say is like embracing this food plan. Like I printed this off and put it in a plastic thing and I hang it up. I kind of don't have to look at it all the time now unless I'm using something new. But just thinking of all the combinations you can make on this, and using the condiments like mustard and cinnamon and cardamom and all these things can just really, when you're done eating the junk and the processed food and things like that, like it just takes a little while until all these things really pop. At least they do for me. And I'm like, oh, I can really taste that, or oh, that's really good. And I'm shocked because if you had told me like 2 years ago, you're going to love this, I would think, no, I'm not. I want to have the things that I'm used to eating, right? But it happens. It's like your body starts craving it and you start enjoying it. So yeah, that's what I got on meal ideas.
Yeah. Thank you, Nicole. So you're going to have to share the chili oil you use. Maybe you could put the link in the Facebook group.
I will. I'll take a picture of it.
I never thought about chili because I remember chili oil. I remember like dipping, egg rolls and
yes,
all that stuff in it. And I just never thought of it really, other than just all on fried food.
Yeah. Well, I will. I'll post it in the Facebook page, and I also got some large bottles that have those lids that you just clamp on, and I'm going to try making my own infused chili oil because I think that'll be a fun thing to try. So if that's a success, I'll let you know, but don't hold your breath for that.
So you'd put dried chilies in there, the dried crispy ones that are all dried out?
Yeah, like you would get, in a shaker or what have you.
Right,
yeah,
right.
I think, but I'm going to do a little checking, but I'm excited. I've got the bottles, I've got the oil, and I'm going to see how that works. But I'll put it in the Facebook group, the one that's my favorite right now.
Yeah.
And reasonably priced, because a lot of them, you get a little bottle and it's really expensive.
Yeah.
This one's medium and I buy them in 3s. Okay. So, yeah.
Good. Is it on Amazon? Do you get them?
It is, yes. Yeah.
And when you mentioned the soup and the Pam's patties, I guess those are recipes, right? But even those recipes are really just an assembly of things from the groups. You know what I mean? They're just assembling, the Pam's patties is just an assembly of two different proteins into one, right?
Right.
And also, do you put? I'm forgetting. Is the rice in there too? Is the grain in there too? It's just the protein.
It's egg, right?
Oh,
Pam, egg, lentils, and quinoa and seasonings.
Quinoa, okay, quinoa. So it is. It's the grain. So it comes out to a protein and a grain, right? If I remember correctly. I don't know. I have a whole video on it.
Yeah, and I make it all the time, but
I don't.
It's right in front of me.
And I don't. See, this is when I say I don't make recipes. I don't make recipes. I haven't made the Pam's patties. I probably have made them once since that video. And that soup I made once, and even it's delicious. That soup is fabulous, but I don't make it. I'm an assembler. Um,
Mhm.
but and you're right about there's options galore. It's not limited at all. If you look at each thing on that list, like if you just look at beans alone, how many different beans are there? It's endless. You know, there's the chickpeas, navy beans, garbanzo beans, black beans, kidney beans, butter beans. There's just edamame. There's all kinds of beans. Nuts. You look at nuts. Oh, it's just nuts. No, but there's walnuts. There's macadamia nuts. There's cashews. There's peanuts. There's pecans. There's like, and then the seeds. The seeds go on and on too. There's a lot of different options for each one thing there. It really covers all. I don't think there's one veggie that's not on that plan. I don't think there's one fruit that's not on that plan. The fruit, there must be, 50 fruits to pick from,
Mm-hmm.
and then, so really, like, what's anybody that feels like it's limited, like what else should be on there? Like meat, fish, and poultry. That's, I mean, just fish alone. How many, there's swordfish, there's flounder, there's salmon, there's shrimp, there's scallops, there's haddock, and there's cod, and I mean it just goes on and on, with all the different kinds of fish. So it's expansive. It's not limited whatsoever. There's just no processed food on it, really. So if that's what you're looking for, that's a different plan, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
When I can remember too, before this plan, where I would get really tired of the bad foods we were eating too and bored with it. Like, oh, this again, or oh, this fast food again. Like what could be, that always searching. So it's like even when there were unlimited amounts of, bad food, I struggled with this. I think it's just mindset, like embracing health and like these are fabulous, nutritious foods, and just, switching your mindset a little bit to be like, I can have all of these things in any combination.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's all in how you look. Whatever you focus on grows. If you're focusing on how expansive and wonderful and healthy the food plan is, it's just going to keep looking like that, and you're going to keep seeing it like that. But if you look at it as limited, you look at it as unrealistic, restrictive. However, if you want to just keep looking at it like that, then that's what it will be for you. And how is that serving you? It's not going to serve you well, because it's just going to make you feel unhappy. I don't want to do this food plan and be unhappy every day, and be struggling every day, and be feeling deprived every day. I don't want to live like that. So I had to figure out how I was going to love this for real. Like for real. I want to love it for real. And, at first, like you said, with the fast food, it's just like, oh, it's all the same. Where are we going to go tonight? Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King, Jack in the Box, Taco Bell. It's just like, that's only a small handful of these restaurants that we just went back and forth all the time, and just feeling awful. And this is just, it's working for me. It's working for you.
Yes. And it's just life-giving.
It's serving us well. Absolutely.
I will post this, but I did look up my favorite chili oil is called Naples Drizzle Pepperolio.
Oh.
And it says the Italian hot sauce. So I can't believe you don't know about this, Lulu.
Oh, don't. I whenever I think of chili oil, I think Asian food. I always think of Asian. Like they give you that little bottle to bring the little chili oil to put all over your pot stickers or whatever. Yeah. It's like just what I need. Oil to put on my oily food.
Oiled food.
Oh, that's how you stay so slim. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Well, okay, let's get started.
Let's open it up.
Pam,
hey,
you're
Pam.
up.
Oh, here's meal ideas.
Right.
Meal ideas are coming now.
I know, I was writing while you were talking.
Yeah. She always has good ideas.
Yeah, because I do enjoy being creative.
Yes.
So, but I do stick with a lot of the basics. I always have roasted cabbage steaks. For some reason, I've been hooked on them since March. So I just slice the whole cabbage into nice big round steaks, about an inch thick, and I roast them. Some I do with the paprika, and then some I do more basic, and that way I can do other things with them, like make them into a pizza. Or I've also done one where you top it with a hamburger, and then you can put it back in and toast it, and then I like to put sliced avocado on that. So I just weigh all my components on my plate, and then I create whatever I want with them. So I'll know exactly how much that cabbage steak weighs, and I'll weigh all the other veggies I want to have on the side with that. And then, okay, I have 2 ounces left for avocado, and then I put the mustard and avocado, so because I do like to do different things, and sometimes I just think, oh, I'm in the mood for like something Italian, and I do the zucchini noodles or spaghetti squash with artichoke hearts and cherry tomatoes that I'll roast, and then just put your Italian seasoning and toss it in your spaghetti squash or your zucchini noodles, and you've got a pasta dish.
Can I ask you a question, Pam? When
Yeah.
you said you put hamburger on top of the steak, the cabbage steak, do you put it on raw and just like kind of smear
No,
it?
I don't.
Oh,
I don't. I make all my components and then have them all weighed out, so I have my meal kind of weighed. I know exactly my 4-ounce patty, and then I just know, okay, you can choose from all of this and put it all together however you wish. That's the way it works for me, and that way I'm not like just piling on top and then like, oh, I don't have enough to put the tomatoes in with the pasta. If I just find that easier, it might be an easier way for somebody else, but that's how I am finding it. Another good one with zucchini is you take out the center, and then you just chop up that center and cook it, saute it. But then you have that, like they call it boats, and you can put your Mexican, your flavored beans, or your flavored taco meat, and then your avocado, and then you can put them in the oven, and you have these Mexican boats. So I enjoy doing all that stuff. But again, like I said, I'll weigh that half a zucchini, and then I know how much avocado I have left and how much veggie I can have on the side. And then the grain just can fit into it. You can do beans and rice inside your zucchini boat. Let's see, any other good ones? And then I have just certain veggies that I just always like plain steamed. Carrots, I just always want them plain steamed. That's kind of like I don't know, I have that savory stuff with the smoked paprika and the mustard, and then that sweet carrot. That's how I like my meals, and how I get them to have variety. Certain ones I like more roasted and really savory and flavorful. Oh, and then I complement them with a more mild sweet thing. And that's what my meals usually look like.
Oh, raise your hand if you want to go to Pam's for dinner. Oh, look at her. I think she's going to have us all over.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing.
You know what you reminded me of is like, I love roasted veggies, and I love the zucchini noodles, and I have a spiralizer.
Yeah.
And I've made the zucchini. And since I've been home, I haven't roasted any veggies, and I have the oven right here, and I haven't done those noodles. So I don't know. I guess I just don't miss it when I'm on the road, I guess, because I'd be home. I do like I said, I've been using my oven to bake the rice and bake the chicken and the potatoes. But I forgot all about putting all my veggies in there, and even like roasted broccoli is delicious.
Oh, it's delicious. I know.
When it gets all brown and
a little crispy.
Yes. Yeah, it's very, very good. Yeah.
But yeah, I do. I make like today, this morning, I was roasting cabbage because it gets too hot up here to cook in the afternoon. So I was doing all that stuff. So then when I wanted to I had some cod to do. I just did that at dinner time. But then I figured out how I wanted everything to be.
Yeah.
So
You're like a mad scientist in the kitchen there.
Yeah, but I have it, it's easy
Yeah.
because I have it all ready.
Yeah.
I have all the components cooked, like the carrots I
right.
cooked yesterday,
Yeah.
and
So
I
you're
had
just assembling
everything.
them. You're assembling them.
I do it as an assembly, you're right.
Yeah.
But I do have everything pre-cooked. But when I do the assembling, I like the creativity of the
Yeah.
zucchini boats with Mexican in them and a little,
Yeah.
so
Oh, that's
to me
nice,
I
Pam.
enjoy that.
Yeah.
So I
And
hope that helps
yeah.
somebody else.
And you know, if you enjoy it, it's very creative, and it's nice to make pretty things and and interesting things if you have the time, and it's wonderful, Pam.
Yeah, so
Thanks
I
for
hope
those
that helps
ideas.
somebody looking for some ideas.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pam.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Christy.
Christy's back in town. Hey, Christy.
Hi, everyone.
Good to see you.
Good to see you guys. A really quick, not too much on the recipes, but I just wanted to say hi to everyone. And I have not abandoned you guys. I've just been extremely busy, even on Thursday nights. So I've been watching videos on YouTube and stuff. So, and I have not been 100%. I'll admit it. My life's been, not that it's an excuse, but mentally and physically and a whole bunch of other things have been going on. And I'm just trying to get back on track. So, I wanted to come like last Thursday and the Thursday before, and it just didn't work out. So hopefully I'm back for good now.
So.
But Pam, those roasted cabbage steaks with burger on it and some avocado, I think I might do that for 4th of July. That sounds delicious. So I'm glad you mentioned those. But that was it. I just wanted, and pretty much like because I'm not totally off track. I'm still eating good foods. It's just I've indulged on other things as well. But I as well don't really like to do recipes. Even if I was 100%, I don't think I would want to, because it's too much overthinking it for me. And that's when I always really, really screw up, is when I'm like, oh, what recipe am I going to cook for myself today and tomorrow and that day? I just also like to cook a bunch of chicken and roast a bunch of veggies or steam the veggies. I like steaming them because I don't have to turn the oven on. Or, and then just put it all together. And whenever I do chicken, which is 3 or 4 times a week at least, especially for my family, like all together with my family, my oldest son especially, I think I told you guys this, he's always like, is that LULU'S chicken? And it's the one with the smoked paprika. He's like, I don't like anything else anymore. And I'm like, yes, it's LULU'S chicken. But yeah, he really likes that. And I've baked it and I've put it on the stovetop as well. And he's like, it doesn't taste the same. I think they taste the same, but he's very particular. He wants it done on the stovetop. So he's only 15 and he's already like getting very picky on what foods he's eating, which is good. But I cooked that up, and then the next day he's like, is there any leftover chicken in the refrigerator? Because I want to have some of that for my lunch. So I have to make extras of that when I do it, because that's also my favorite chicken. But yeah, that was it. I don't really have any recipes to share, but I wanted to say hi and say that I have not forgotten about all of you. I've actually been missing you. Every once in a while I'll text into Pam or something and just say, I am still here. And trying to keep going with everything. And I do hear your lovely voices when I watch the YouTube. And Nicole, I can't see your face when I'm watching YouTube, but wow, even your voice has changed with your body. If you just rewatch a video on YouTube, I mean, you're probably not going to hear it, but because I guess I haven't been in the group in a while, I noticed the change. But when you talk, you sound like this little tiny petite person on the video, and I'm like, I can't wait to see her, because she just sounds so different. And I guess I mean, I guess that makes sense that our voices change as we lose weight. I don't know. if that's true or not. But I do heard a difference in your voice over the last few weeks. But when I'm watching, and every time I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to get back to the group. But at least I'm throwing my headphones in when I'm doing a whole bunch of things, either at the house or outside or whatever, and just listening to you guys share. And I think that just listening even helps me not go totally off track and, gain 100 pounds in a month or something silly. But yeah, it does really help. And I'm like, oh, missing you guys. And I spoke to Pam earlier, and I'm like, I'm going to aim to get in the group tonight. I can't wait. So, and I hope to hear everyone's lovely recipes if you do have them. And I can't wait to try a Mexican in a zucchini boat. Can you try a Puerto Rican in a zucchini boat? I'm about to try that one. My husband will get a kick out of it. He's Puerto Rican. I'll be telling him I'm going to have a Mexican in my zucchini boat. See if he gets a little jealous. I'll talk to you guys later. Well, thank you so much.
It's good to have you back, Christy.
I'm glad to be back.
Yeah.
Thanks, Christy. Well, I do have a physical tomorrow morning at 7 I'm super excited about, so I'll ask the doctor if my voice could have lost some weight too.
You got a little bit more space around your vocal cords.
Yes, they're slimming down. Thanks, Christy. It is really good to see you and know that you're following along, but it's really good that you're back. Yay.
Yep.
Okay, next we have Connie in Maine.
Hi, Connie.
Hi, Lulu. Hi, everybody. It's just going to be a little bit of repeating some of what was already said, because Pam and Nicole had some great ideas. Number one, it's mindset about, I was like casserole queen, and I'm still fighting the battle. I'm not 100% by any means, but I'm constantly working on it, and I keep coming back. But it is just changing your mindset to, that's not what I eat anymore. This is what I eat. And as far as recipes go, I like to cook recipes too. As a matter of fact, I made what I consider a recipe tonight. For the first time, I made chick renee. I hadn't done it with the mustard, and I put smoked paprika on it, and it is so good. And I've been meaning to try it, and I hadn't, so I finally did. So that, I think it's kind of goes along with what Pam was saying, of taking what your food is, what it's going to be, that is on the plan. And then if you want to be creative with it, you can take it, you can put it on the plate. She could have put the cabbage in one spot, the hamburger in the other, you can put them in the different places and just eat it that way, and that's fine. But if you want to be more creative, it's going to make you feel more like it's something different. Then get creative. And some of the things I've done to get creative is I'll cut things differently. Instead of, leaving big pieces of broccoli or whole baby carrots, then one day I'll slice all my baby carrots on a diagonal, and it tastes the same, but it looks different, and it makes me feel like it's different. So it's just little things like that, where I'm not adding sauces and this and that anymore, or trying not to. Doing that makes it enough different for me. Having my oatmeal and an apple, or sometimes cutting that apple up in a really fine dice and mixing it right into my oatmeal. So that changes it up for me. That's all it takes to change it up. And it's eating the same thing. It's just doing a little bit of a swap, using what we can use, what's on plan, and doing like Pam, coming up with all those great ideas like Pam does. So that's all I have. But try, if you haven't tried chick renee, everybody, I recommend that you try chick renee. It's very, very good with the mustard, and I use the smoked paprika.
That's another recipe that I haven't made in a long time. I guess I know recipes and I've made them. I guess I just really don't use them very often. But that is delicious.
Yeah. Well, I think, and you've made that mindset adjustment to, this is delicious food the way I eat it, and I think for people who haven't gotten there yet, maybe just these little bit of tweaks are enough to move you till you get to the point where I'm not going to cut that apple up. I'm just going to eat my apple and eat my oatmeal.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
That's all I have to offer.
It was so nice to get to know you better, Connie, at our meetup.
I had so much fun.
Yeah, and you're just these people that come here every week, and I don't meet them, and then when I do, it's just extra special.
Yeah.
And if anybody hasn't seen the video of the Spotlight variety show, Connie read some poetry that she wrote when she was a teenager, and yeah, it was lovely that you participated, and we just had a blast, didn't we?
Yep, we did.
It was nice to get to know you.
Yep. Same here.
Thanks, Connie. I gotta catch up on those videos. Next we have Joni in Kentucky.
Joni.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi. I don't really have recipes. I've noticed I like things colorful, but I guess if I had a recipe, I share all the time my version of what I call chicken fried rice. And it's only rice, cauliflower, and anything else I throw in there with it. Whatever I have on hand. I like to steam a whole bunch of veggies and have my chicken on hand. And I've grown to like quinoa more than rice. I use it a whole lot more recently, but I like more colorful things, And I noticed, Nicole, I mentioned to my husband the other day that you had a new spice. I saw your chili oil. I saw your hot chili oil. And I said, she must be trying something new, and she must like this, because I've noticed her post it on almost everything recently. So I like that with sesame oil. So I have to watch it, just use it just a little bit for flavor, but I'm going to try that chili oil also. Yeah. Yeah. And I've noticed too, she said your voice has changed, and you do. I think you picture something different when you can't see the person versus just listening to Lulu's videos. And I've listened from the very beginning. I've not always participated, but I've listened from the beginning, even if it was just on YouTube. And you do sound like this tiny little person. And today, something different. I see it here in your face. This part here suddenly looks much slimmer. This is where I'm watching it for myself. This is what I always look at to notice if anything has changed. Something today looks so different here. So you're awesome.
It could be because she's lost almost 100 pounds. That might be.
Absolutely.
That might have something to do with it.
It might be that.
It might be that. But you look great. You all do. You all do. I'm encouraged every single week by everybody's stories, and I get ideas from everybody all the time. So
good.
Yeah.
And I still tell everybody I hear about Lulu. Like you, I'm telling you this works, and she's a real person who's just out to be helpful to everybody. I did Weight Watchers. I've done Weight Watchers several times, and nothing ever worked. And it finally clicked. They're out to sell something, and you just are a real person who have done it, and just in your day-to-day life. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, Joni. Thanks for your kind words.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
thanks,
Joni. Nice to hear from you. I just want to say, if you look at the plan, if someone gives you the plan, or, you give it to someone and they might look at it and think, okay, oh boy, that's some kind of diet. But, I really just, when I saw this, I looked at this and I thought, it's like a lifesaver. This just isn't some diet, like here's a diet, if you follow it, you'll lose weight. But I find like it's just saving my life in every way, not just in the food way, the body way, but the mental way, the emotional way, because I have just realized, like, letting go of all the other things, no matter what anyone else says or what you say to yourself at first, like, gosh, I gotta buckle down and follow this diet. This is not this for me anymore. Like, it is, I want my life to be different. And this is a tool, but it's the best tool I've ever seen. It's the most truthful tool I've ever seen. And so, I love talking about meal ideas. I love talking about all of this stuff, but if you want to change your whole life and you want to change it all, not just your body, but your mind and your emotional state, and you follow this plan, I don't see how that couldn't happen, because it's happening to me. And so many others. So I just want you to know that it's a great plan, but it's a lifesaver. I just don't have the same life I used to have. And I'm so glad, because I thought that was a pretty good life, because, things sort of looked okay on the outside except for my weight. But I wasn't really living it. I was just addicted to food and sugar. So I just want to say that. And a lot of us know that, but if anyone's listening, I just want you to know this isn't just some diet plan. Just changes your life.
Yeah.
You got to let it.
Yeah, you got to let it. I was going to say, if you're following the plan and you're not feeling this peace and you're not embracing it, you're not loving it, it's because you're just not developing a good relationship with it. You're not seeing it for what it is. You just got to see it for what it is. You need to look at it like Nicole said. You look at it and you say, this is going to save my life, rather than this is going to interfere with my life. And you just need to really see the value in it. It's just so valuable. And and it's changed my life too. And you're right, it's physically, mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually. When I just stop beating myself up every day, it just seems like, I just learned to love myself. And then it even helps me love others more when you love yourself, So it's a cool way it all works out.
Mm-hmm. Seattle Sue, I see you trying to raise your hand the old-fashioned way by doing this.
My sister lives in California with a beautiful lemon tree, and she told me, and it's just been fabulous. The juice of a whole lemon and zest it, and put in your chicken and marinate your chicken in that. And I've been doing that with my chicken and all the lemon juice and the zest, throwing it in the freezer. Then I take that frozen bag of chicken out a couple days later, and as it's thawing in the refrigerator, it's marinating. And that chicken, as simple as that recipe is, it is just so light and airy when you cut it up and put it on your salads cold. That lemon is just infused. And that's what I just wanted to encourage. Lemon marinade with zest.
When you put the chicken in the freezer in the lemon, is that cooked or uncooked?
It's uncooked.
Uncooked. Okay.
Yeah. Then the next day, when it's thawing, it's marinating in the fridge all day long. And then I cook it, no matter however I cook it, the lemon is infused.
Yeah.
It's delicious, simple and light.
It sounds delicious.
Yeah, I think my sister, I used to do marinating in Italian dressing. And I'll tell you, of course, I don't do that anymore. But this lemon has taken its place, and it's just delicious, especially for summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Thanks, Sue.
You bet.
Thank you, Sue.
Christine.
Hi, Christine.
And I eat a lot simple like you, Lulu. I mean, I was vegan, so it was more tofu, my protein, and a lot of hummus and a lot of beans and stuff. And now this week, after 6 years of being vegan, I've decided to bring chicken back into my diet. Chicken and eggs. And that's about it for now, just chicken and eggs. But I love just boiled cabbage, carrots, chicken, and I do hummus. I make my own hummus, and I put it in little portion size, and I put them in the freezer after I make it, because when you make hummus, you have a lot of hummus. So I put it in the freezer the night before, I take it out, and then it's ready for the next day, so I don't waste the hummus.
And I make oat groats in the morning. Oat groats with, I put flax. Well, I cook the oat groats in my Instant Pot for 25 minutes. And then I put oat groats, I put flax, hemp, nuts, seeds, cocoa, mix it all up, cinnamon, vanilla, and then I portion size them and put them in the fridge. And the next day, I just take it and I put a whole bunch of berries on it and eat it cold. So oat groats, and I do chia pudding too, which is just chia seeds and milk or water with spices and vanilla, and same thing. I put fruits in the morning and then eat that for breakfast. So oat groats and chia puddings I have all the time for breakfast.
And do you weigh and measure all the portions?
Yeah, I measure the oat groats before I cook it. So I know, like, now I'm cooking for 3 portions. I put 6 ounces of oat groats.
I see. Yep.
So I know I have 3 portions.
Yep.
I don't measure the flax and the hemp.
Ooh.
Like that. I just...
Yeah, that's part of this nuts and seeds measurement, because it's seeds.
Yeah.
I would put 2 ounces total. 2 ounces total of all the nuts and seeds together.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess that's about how much I put, though. Yeah. And that, so those 3 things I do all the time.
Good. Very good. Thanks for the ideas.
Yeah, thanks
You're
for
welcome.
sharing, Christine. Does anybody else have any other meal ideas or Q&A about meal ideas before we would move on?
Or does anybody have just any questions at all? At all? Any questions about anything? About the food plan, about the putting meals together?
There's
Any struggles?
There's a question in the chat about cream of wheat and flat oats and steel cut oats.
Yeah, it's all grain.
All the same, right?
Yeah.
Cream of wheat is included in that?
I think so.
I don't know. I used to love it. Now that I see it written there, I'm like, oh, well, I used to love cream of wheat.
Yeah, I mean, you just add water like you do with oatmeal, and it's just a bowl of mush like oatmeal. So
yeah,
I don't see why not. As long as it doesn't say that it has, as long as the ingredients doesn't say flour, if it doesn't say wheat flour.
I'm just wondering because it's wheat.
Oh.
No,
Now
wheat is fine. I mean, I have farro. Farro is a grain. That's wheat.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's just flour. So
Well, I'll have to think about
all
that.
grains are okay, just not flours.
I'm looking it up. It says it's similar to grits.
Yeah.
It's ground wheat kernels.
Yeah.
And grits are corn kernels, right?
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It is ground up. It's just not technically a flour. I don't know.
That's kind of one of those that's...
Yeah, it's just, I don't know.
Borderline.
I'd stick with oatmeal before I'd go to cream of wheat, but I'd just have, more of a whole wheat, like the farro or whatever.
Yeah, there's also cream of rice, which is kind of the same category. It's like just ground finer. So I too would personally just treat it as that's kind of more processed than, but it's kind of that gray area. It's still a whole food, but it's a little more ground.
Yeah, it's like, some people might be more attracted to it because it would cook quicker, because it's so ground up in the water. It's practically cooked just by adding the water to it. But even the oats, the flat oats, you just add water and cinnamon and let it sit overnight, and the next day it's oatmeal.
Or just cooking it. I do 2 minutes, 20 seconds, and it doesn't matter what microwave I use. That it is done. It doesn't matter if it's quick oats, old-fashioned oats. It's done. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, it just needs to be wet, and then it gets soft, and then it's edible.
Yeah. Good.
I use any kind of grains. Wheat grains, any kind of grains, not just oat groats, but any kind of grains. But it has to be the whole grain, not chopped up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the quick oats that are chopped up, I don't know, it's very mushy, but the regular rolled oats, those ones, those come out nice.
Yeah. Candace, it's so nice to see you. I see in the chat you put
Oh, hi, Candace.
buckwheat is good. That too, I think if it's whole, it looks like it can be a whole grain that isn't ground. Sherry, hi.
Hi, Sherry.
Hi. Hi, everybody. I have always been curious. This food plan is genius. How did you put this together? How did you how did you determine 16 ounces, 4 ounces, 2 ounces?
Well, it was a food plan that I came across. It's very similar to Weight Watchers, like way back in the day, before points, where it's an exchange, and I really like that idea, just of an exchange. And I can't remember exactly the content of it when I got my hands on it, because I have tweaked it in ways that I think is better.
Lulu did.
Yeah, but it wasn't mine originally, for instance, for weight loss, this originally came through as no grain at dinner. So there was only 1 grain a day, and it was in the morning, and it was 1 ounce of oatmeal, and no grain at lunch, so lunch and dinner were the exact same without any grain. And I didn't think that was enough. I just didn't think that was enough. And I think it works better like this. Beef it up a little bit in the morning, keep you more satiated during the day. And I like the grain at dinner that keeps you more satiated overnight. So I just...
It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah, really does. I always feel satisfied, and I'm always hungry when it's time to eat, just like you promised.
Yes. Yeah. And it's not the end of the world. If you get hungry, you don't have to worry about it. You're just hungry because it's almost time to eat. Like, it's a good idea to be in fact, when I get that hungry feeling, I almost feel like I've kind of dipped into my reserves. You know what I mean? Where, like, you're not just using the food for energy, but that you've dipped into the reserves, and just feels like a good thing to do. Just a little dip, and then it's time to eat again. Then you're all refueled.
And it wakes me up, pulls me out of my whatever I'm so focused on that I would normally just not, before I was on this food plan, would just skip the meal because I don't even notice it's come and gone. Time has come and gone. I don't. Yeah. It wakes me up. I mean, like, whatever I'm in the middle of, I start feeling hungry, and I look up at the clock.
I remember when you first, tell me if I'm remembering correctly, because I've talked to many people about this, but I'm remembering that you were really struggling with, like, having breakfast or just having 3 meals a day or something. You would just, like, was that you?
That's so much.
It was you.
Yeah,
it was you. Yeah. And I'm
so
just
much,
like,
but I'm doing it. It still seems like a lot, like I'm always eating.
Yeah, but something, a lot of times when people first start, they're just like, I just started and I can't eat all this food. Well, that's because you're full from yesterday. You were getting it all in yesterday because you're going to start today, right?
And the snack at night.
Yeah. And now, like, you're waking up, of course you're not hungry. Oh, I never eat breakfast. Yeah, that's because you ate at midnight last night, But when you don't eat since 5 o'clock at night, you wake up, you want to eat. So
it's time to eat.
It's time to have breakfast. It's time to break the fast, which is breakfast. Breakfast.
It's a genius. It is genius. I love this food plan. I do.
Good. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for it.
I love it too.
Thanks, Sherry. Bridget.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, a couple of questions.
Hi, Bridget.
Hi. If I want to saute my vegetable, do I weigh them before I saute them or after I saute them when I want to eat them?
I
like to saute peppers, onion, and mushroom.
Do you want to saute them in the oil that you're going to be using, or do you just want to saute them?
I usually saute without oil, but I started using like a spray.
The spray for non-stick, yeah. I would weigh them after you've cooked them. But if if you want to use your oil to cook them, then I would weigh them raw.
Raw.
Because once they're in with all the oil and stuff, then then they're mixed in with something else, and you don't want to be figuring out how much of the oil burnt off and how much is still there, all that stuff. So I would, but yeah, if you're cooking veggies and you're not using any fat or other ingredients in it, then just weigh them when they're cooked. But,
okay, and what about, can we have corn on the cob?
just take it off the cob and weigh it.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Just
It's not as much fun as going like this. But okay.
yeah. Yeah, but you know, you get it all stuck in your teeth and everything.
Yeah.
That's the fun. Yeah, I would just cut it right off the cob, and it's delicious off the cob because it's really best. Corn on the cob is better than, you know, from the can or frozen, and it tastes just as delicious.
It's also summer, so it's part of
Yeah.
eating corn on the cob.
Yeah.
So,
So that would be 4 ounces would be your grain serving. Yep.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yep. Bridget, I'll just say too, I think others of us do this as well. I just use a light spritz in the pan sometimes for my veggies. It's because I don't want to use my oil serving. And then I just add a tiny bit of water so like nothing burns.
I usually do it with water. I saute in water, usually.
Yep. Or veggie broth, but just a little because, you know, I want it to not like boil or steam. But that's one way that I like to do it so that I can have my whole oil serving on top when my food's done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I usually don't cook with my oil. I like to have my whole meal put together, and then I just drizzle the oil on top of it all. I like my oil to be present, not all sucked into everything. I like it to just be present in my food, you know, because it's...
Yeah, even when I'm drizzling my oil, my 0.5, I don't like it to go on the rice because then it's like, where did that go? You know?
I know. Yeah.
I want it to be all over.
Yeah,
so,
it doesn't sit. It sits on the veggies, but it doesn't sit on the rice. It goes.
Yes. It's like, I got to see it too.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, good questions. Next we have Kate.
Hi, Kate.
Hi, you guys. Hi, everybody. My question is similar, I think, to Bridget. I cooked some red potatoes. Well, first I selected some red potatoes. I weighed them so I'd know how many to cook, you know, like 4 ounces. And then after I cooked them, they were lighter.
Yep. Yeah, because
So
all
then I had to, like,
the water cooked out of them. Yeah.
So you should. So I guess weigh after you cook them.
Weigh them
before you eat them.
Yep.
Not before you cook them, right?
Not before. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
yeah. Just, well, I don't know when I'm cooking. If I'm going to cook potatoes, I'm going to cook a whole bag. Well, when I say a whole bag, I buy the 1 pound little bag of like the little mini ones.
Yeah.
I'll cook the whole bag. I'll roast them in the oven. I like to slice them in half. Pam spray. Just spritz, you know, so it doesn't stick on a baking pan. And then I put all my seasonings on the pan. Salt, pepper, garlic powder, rosemary, whatever you want. So now you've got this kind of cookie sheet that's covered with all these spices. And I put them all cut side down all over the different herbs and spices that I've chosen. And then just roast them until they're all crispy brown and all those herbs are stuck to them. And then weigh out 4 ounces. Then tomorrow there's another 4. Put them in with your eggs at breakfast the next day. Have them, they're good cold in a salad. I put the cold potatoes in a salad because those ones are nice and creamy. They're not really mealy. You know, like a big potato can be a little mealy, but like those little red ones or the little gold ones, they're creamy even when they're cold. Just an idea.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Just real quick, one more question. I get confused whenever I try to mix like 2 different proteins. Like some of them have this many ounces, some have just this many ounces. So if I have 2.3 ounces of this, how do I know what to have of the other one?
Well, it can get a little complicated. We can get a little complicated with that. But what I do is like, say what tell me the 2 proteins that you're mixing. What's 2.3? Chicken? Say chicken?
Yeah, let's say.
And what's the other one? What's the other
Let's say I wanted to put a little bit of feta cheese.
Cheese. Okay. Okay, so chicken is 4 ounces and feta and cheese is 2 ounces, right? So if you have that means it's half, right? It's half the amount, correct?
Right.
Because the chicken is 4 ounces, the cheese is 2 ounces. So cheese is half of what the chicken is, right? So always remember half. So if you weigh out 2.3, that means what's left over is 1.7. If you go on your calculator and say 1.7 divided by 2, because what's left over, you only want half of it.
Okay.
Follow me?
Thank you.
And then that's how much cheese. It might be like 0.7 or 0.6, whatever it is. And then, follow me?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. It was nice spending time with you too, Kate.
You too. Thank you.
We had fun. You got to watch her in the Spotlight variety show. Oh God, that was so funny. She wrote a song to Green Acres. Lulu's Meetups is the place to be. Oh, it was a good song. She did so good. She performed it and everything. She did good.
Thank you. Bye
Love
for
it.
now.
Love it. Bye.
Thanks, Kate. Next we have Terry.
Hi, Terry.
Hello. How y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. I was sitting to your left at the Maryland meetup during the chat. And I've been to all the meetings since then, and I've been doing well on the diet. I have a question about how important it is to eat at specific times during the day. I know, Lulu, you're very strict about when you eat. I mean, is that part of the diet also, or does that help with weight loss? Or
no, I just think it's just, for me, it's just, I like, I don't want to get the time to get away from me. I don't want to get hungry and uncomfortable. If I don't eat at 5 and I eat at 7 or 8 instead because I was busy doing something, I'm going to probably end up a little lightheaded or just not feeling good. I just like to be on the schedule, and what I like about my eating schedule, because it's so important to me, because it gives me the life that, like Nicole was talking about, it gives me the life that I want. I just plan my whole life around it. It gives me a way to really plan my day so that I'm eating at the right time, because it just feels good when I do that, you know. But it doesn't mean that, like, if you're not doing that, as long as you're peaceful, you know, if you're just eating whenever and you're just like, oh God, now I didn't even have time to eat, now I'm going to have to eat while I'm walking down the street, you know, like, you don't want to get in a situation like that, you know. And then you just, so if it's just, for me, it's just self-discipline for my self-care. It just feels like it doesn't, and it's not that I don't ever eat at 5:15 instead of 5, or sometimes 5:30 instead of 5. I was at my niece's on Sunday. It was her son's 13th birthday party, and you know, she made all this Italian food, and you know, I don't need any of that. I don't need it, nor do I want it. But they were all sitting down, and it was like 4:45. They're gonna eat, and I'm thinking 4:45. Like, I don't want to eat at 4:45. But you know something? I ate at 4:45 because I was eating. I just sat down and ate with everybody. I wasn't gonna sit there and look at the clock for 15 minutes, you know. But I really didn't need to eat at 4:45. But if they ate at 5:30, I would have ate at 5:30, you know. But if they were gonna eat at 6, I would have ate before I left. I wouldn't have waited till 6. I would have ate before I left, and then I would have ate, and I would have showed up there, and I would have had a wonderful time just sitting at the table with all of them while they ate, and just enjoyed my relatives. So that's how I do it. As long as you don't find yourself all over the place crazy trying to fit it in and stuff, because I love to just sit and enjoy it. I want to enjoy every bite. I want to have time for it. Like, a lot of times we don't make time for it. You know, we don't make time to prepare ourselves lovely food, and we don't make time to sit down and just really enjoy a meal. I never even sat down to eat. I always ate everything standing up, probably in front of the refrigerator, you know, just always, I was always kind of a grazer, just kind of grazing around, you know, and yeah, I love sitting down and getting ready to put that first fork in that meal, that first bite, when you're so hungry and it just tastes so good, you know.
Well, I've never enjoyed food as much as I enjoy it now. Absolutely enjoy it.
I love it, Terry. That's great. Now, you came to the Maryland meetup, and
Yes.
it was a joy to meet you there. And
Thank you.
And you and is that when you came to this meeting and learned about the group at that meetup?
I had seen a little bit about it,
Okay.
and I bought the crock pot. I mean, I had not the crock pot, the Instapot.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really sure exactly what to do with it. I'd started this experiment with doing some vegetables in there, and it tasted fine to me. And I mean, the meetup really just put it all together for me.
Oh, good, Terry. I'm so glad. I'm so happy for you.
Well, thank you.
Yay.
Thanks, Terry.